always felt as though this would be something I would be doing even if I wasn't getting paid for it. So it's like now ain't no pressure. It's like I know I'm gonna do what I do, and it just the people are gonna love it.
What's your thoughts on the violence in hip hop? Because we see a lot of rappers, they go to different cities, or sometimes they're in their own city, and it seems like the target's on their back. Even Benny the Butcher a couple of months ago, he was in Dallas and himself was shot. How do you feel about the recent rash of violence in hip hop with hip hop artists?
I mean, coming from Buffalo, I'm not like a stranger to like that story or like, seeing violence and stuff like that happen, or just seeing anybody, not so much a rapper, but just any guy coming up in the hood, coming back and then, getting shot or killed in his own like neighborhood. I'm surprised to see it happening so much within the hip hop community because, for the most part, a lot of the things that they do be rapping about be fabricated. But in a sense, it's just like I'm still on guard. I'm still sharp. I'm still on point at all times. And I don't, play about that. Like, you can't always it have been of the adage, like, you can't move in fear. Things are going to happen. You just got to roll with the punches and make sure that you stay focused, stay sharp, and don't, fall for the okie doke. Like, it's still businesses out here thriving in the midst of all of this. So I always, say that I'm my own business. I am a brand. I am a business, and I'm going to continue to do that. Like, and these folks is wilding, like, you know what I'm saying? But I'm sitting here minding my Black-owned business, and that's what it's going to be.
Facts on that.
Now, from Buffalo, New York, and I was reading that you spent a lot of time in Charlotte, North Carolina, going back and forth. You even mentioned that as being your second home. At what point, did you start rapping coming from Buffalo? Who were some of your influences as well?
I started rapping like 12 years old. I started writing raps, and I moved to North Carolina to go to school. So just a little bit before that, I started going to the studio, probably like 16, 17 years old. That's where I met Benny, Conway, and Westside. And we were all in a group called Buff City. Well, me, Conway, and Benny were. And it was cool for what it was, some little Buffalo, yang. But, after I left for school, everybody kind of went and did their own thing. And so I went and did my college thing in Durham, North Carolina. And I sort of just kind of stayed. I still, would go home to visit and get in the studio and the lab and all of that to collab. But for the most part, like, like I had to make Charlotte or North Carolina, like, my second home.
Indeed. Now, Buffalo, New York, like my cousin said, out Charlotte, North Carolina, being your second home. But what intrigued me the most is Buffalo and the sound, because as I listen to you rap and I listen to the way that you approach it and even the beats that you get on, it's Griselda all day long, them gritty, them hard beats. And you remind me of a good mixture between you give that sexy, but you give that street at the same time. You're not going to go out there and just shake your ass and get a shake ass music, but you're not going to get that conscious pro-Black all the time music. You got a good combination of both. Talk about how Buffalo influenced your sound.
I can't give Buffalo all the credit because, again, like I, grew up just being a lover of music. I came from a few family which had a background in music, and I've always had a very eclectic palette. So when it came to like just doing my research and just grabbing inspiration, it was from everywhere. It was from the South, it was from the West Coast, it was from the East Coast, overseas. It was just more so me now as a grown woman, I'm able to like kind of articulate and tell my story. And the fact that I'm with Griselda, I'm able to do it on those kind of beats, but I'm still very much bringing a bit of the South to those beats. You know what I'm saying? Just because my adult life, was spent down here. And a lot of the previous work that I did before I got signed was on more trappy beats. A lot of people may not know that. So I think what West seen when he first signed me was just that like I could do both, and I had to do both because it was like I was like a baby, with two parents and they had split custody. So like a part of me in Buffalo, grew up around spitters and people that would just go in. But I also had the side of where in the South they had fun. they, you know, and it's more so about, I wouldn't say just about the beats, but it's more so about just good time music, I would say, you know.
Indeed.
And could you talk to our audience about, you know, you said a few times you actually wanted to quit music. Take us back to that. What were some of the reasons why you wanted to quit, and why did you keep going in spite of?
I mean, I can't give the credit to nobody but just God. Like, I felt like, you know, for a long time I was doing everything myself, as far as like my videos, being a stylist, even just being the bag behind everything that I had going on. And I had been signed prior to getting signed to Griselda back, I want to say in like 2015, 16. And, you know, I was still moving as though I was an independent artist. And it just was hard. It was frustrating. I, you know, bumped my head a lot of times, spent a lot of money, and just really, but, you know, I don't feel like they were like L's. I feel like they were lessons. I feel like I was able to be more seasoned and learn more. And I think that now is the perfect time for me to emerge as an artist, because now everything is full circle. I'm with who I started with, and I have so much knowledge to bring to the table. You know, I'm not like wet behind the ears trying to figure it out still. It's like I know exactly what kind of impact I want to have. I know exactly what kind of music I want to make. And, you know, I'm just not going for anybody okie doke. I'm reading them contracts, you know, looking over the splits, all of that. Like, you know, I'm put on game now, and I know what's going on.
How was life down there? 8 North Carolina. What was it? What college? What HBCU did you go to in North Carolina?
I went to North Carolina Central University.
Yeah, North Carolina Central. My apologies on that. How was that? How was life down there, and what did you major in down there?
So I came in originally wanting to major in nursing, because all of my friends, you know, we felt as though like that would just be like a steady job. But then as soon as I got there, it was like all the math and science. I was like, yeah, no, it's a no for me. And then I changed my major to CIS, which is like computer informational systems, because I felt like, you know, I was good with computers. Like, you know, I know how to set a Facebook page up, MySpace page up, you know, it's a little, I know how to put little, you know, songs and stuff on MySpace or whatever. And it was like, it was nothing but coding and tedious work. And I just knew like that ain't for me either. So then I finally went back to my advisor, and he was like, okay, well, you know, you're still in the business building, you know, all of that is kind of like all of the classes that you pretty much taken are just like all prereqs anyway. And he was like, you know, just knowing you, I feel like you could sell ice to an Eskimo. I feel like, you know, marketing would be great for you, because if you can market yourself, you could do anything. And then from there, it was like, okay, I took a hip hop and context class as my last elective. And then I was gone. I was like, I'm gonna market myself, baby. But I'm not even gonna hold you. I do want to go back and finish. I literally only have like a semester and a half left. So
putting all your eggs in the basket of hip hop, and I think that's very, very intelligent to do. So talk about the game right now. Who is Armani Caesar as a hip hop artist out here? Why should we be paying attention to Armani Caesar as a force in the female and hip hop game in general?
Just because I feel like nobody is making the kind of music that I'm making, looking like how I look. You know, you have a lot of female lyricists out there, and I don't discount them, but at the same time, they're not giving the same sexiness as I'm giving. And you have a lot of people that are sexy, but they just don't have the lyrical ability to be able to make the type of songs that I make. And so I'm kind of merging both worlds, because it's like if a couple hop in a car, they can play my music and nobody feels away, because it's something that men can relate to and still vibe to. And I'm still telling a female story. You know what I'm saying? So I think that it's something that's fresh, it's new. I don't sound like anybody out right now. I don't look like, you know, how I sound. So, you know, it's almost like I'm still very much marketable, and I have the power to transition those that may not be hip hop heads into listening to more lyrical music. And it's still being fun, not just being just a whole bunch of words, or, you know, like you can actually have fun and listen to my music. And, you know, even on the list, like I have songs like Jewelorama or, you know, Yum Yum, to where you can play that in the club. So, you know, it's just it's a great mix.
Okay.
Can you talk about DJ Shea and what he meant, you know, for you in your group, and just knowing him and the whole, situation?
I mean, I always say, like, if it wasn't for DJ Shea, there will be no Griselda. I think that DJ Shea inspired all of us to just, believe in ourselves, hone in on our crafts, and never to give up, because he had been an OG in the game coming from Buffalo way before any of us started doing music. Just being on a DJ scene and, having his own artists and stuff like that. Like, he was like that dude, like, from Buffalo. So then, when Benny came along, he was behind him 100%. Conway came along, he was behind him 100%, and almost just played like a father figure to all of us, aside of just being, our engineer or producer or anything like that, and I just thank him for this day, like till this day, just for having such a huge impact and even creating Armani Caesar.
Now, you said that you were with Griselda, rocking with Benny and rocking with Westside and Conway early on, and then you guys kind of split up to do your thing. Now, how did you guys reemerge and get back together?
I mean, we always kind of kept in touch just because we family. We all from Buffalo. I've known these guys 10 years plus. It's like, everybody kind of just was in different states. But of course, like, Benny would hit me and be like, yeah, we got to do something. Or, Wes would hit me and be like, yeah, sis, I got this going on or whatever. We might do something. But I never really thought it would be me signing to them because, again, when I was down here, I was making a completely different kind of music. And I didn't think that it would make sense. But Wes being, a genius, he's seen like, although you can rap on, a hip trap beat, you can also do the same on our beats. And this is how, you were brought in the game. You were brought in around spitters. Yeah. And I believe you can hold your own and push your own pen. We don't have to worry about that. You got the look, like, let's do it. So it was just more so like organic, how we all kind of just came back around and just started working.
Oh. Can you talk about your manual that you created, your 7-day manual for successful entrepreneurs? I think that's very interesting. Our publicist just sent that to us. And I want to hear more about it.
So I actually started a business, my first business back in 2016, and I did it in December, and I started making money from it. Like, I literally filed for my LLC, got all of the paperwork done and my inventory in, and started selling stuff and making money and seeing a profit within 7 days. And now I just started Armani's Closet last year, November, which is, I always do things toward the end of the year. I don't know why. I just get in beast mode around that time. But I started, immediately making 6 figures from that, even in the pandemic. So it was like, I wanted to teach girls that were in my DMs and my inboxes, like, I just need, inspiration, or I don't know where to start, just answering all of those questions. And I just put it in one manual because, it's easy, it's downloadable, or you can just print it out and make it a handheld book. But you can literally go to all the links on, filing for your LLCs and your tax ID numbers, and going to the links as far as like website information, business cards, even down to having people model for you. I think I have that in there. And then I'll be revamping it this year, of course, because now I have more knowledge dealing with Armani's Closet. So be on the lookout for that soon. But in the interim, just helping Black folk out. Like, my people, one thing about it, I learned 2020, having one stream of income is not enough.
Facts.
It's too close to zero. And I think that now having multiple streams isn't a luxury, it's a necessity, because in this state of the world, you just never know what's going to happen. And you always want to make sure that you're good. Your family is good. People out here, like really struggling. And I want to kind of like use my knowledge and all of the lessons that I've learned to try to help somebody else prevent them from making the same mistakes that I did.
We want to wish you much success in your career, business, and hip hop. And thank you. If you can, could you leave your social media handles where everybody can find you at, please?
Yes. So you can follow me on Instagram at Armani Caesar, ARMANI CAESAR. Follow my business page, Armani's Closet. That's Armani's_closet. YouTube is Armani Caesar TV. That's where all my videos, all my vlogs will be. I'm gonna be dropping some more soon, toward the end of this month. And just be on the lookout for the list too, and a couple other projects that I got coming soon. It's lit.
Indeed, we definitely appreciate your time on the Hip Hop Uncensored Podcast. You got two fans over here. And anytime you got any projects or something, drop it, have your people drop it over to us so we can listen to it, vibe to it, get it out to the people, man. And good luck. Much success to you, love. Appreciate you.
Thank you. I already know.
Take care.
All right.
You too.
Peace.